Wasn't so bad.
Still got 2 more.
Damn. Corsair's new 32-inch Xeneon 1440p gaming monitor has the features you need to play your best. Features like silky smooth 165Hz refresh rate IPS display with 1 millisecond MPRT response time, quantum dot technology HDR 400, and built-in mount for either a microphone, webcam, or even a DSLR. To see the complete list of features of the Corsair Xeneon 32-inch gaming monitor, follow the link in the description below. Okay, so this is the Steelcase gesture chair. This, if you guys have been following on my social media, you know I actually tweeted about buying this chair a few months back. And if you've been watching any of my Twitch streams, which you can find on Twitch at 7 p.m. Pacific time, Mondays and Wednesdays, and sometime bonus stream between Wednesdays and Sundays, then you guys would know that this is the chair that I pretty much plop my butt in every time I play. I actually tweeted that I replaced my Herman Miller N-Body Logitech Edition chair because I just was not happy with it. I didn't feel like it fit a fat body structure like mine. It's a great chair if you don't want a headrest and you just are being forced into sit in like the perfect posturepedic position, and I'm sorry, I don't sit that way. I found the Steelcase chair online, bought it, fell in love with it. Steelcase found me after I bought it, fell in love with me, so here we are doing it again because now we've just upgraded all of our chairs here in the studio that we 3 sit in with this chair. So we're gonna take you guys along for the ride on why I bought it. We're gonna go through some of the functions. And I've talked about this before in my studio setup at home. This is the most important part of any setup. You literally interact with this chair more than anything on your desk because you're sitting in it. It can affect your comfort, it can affect your mood, it can affect your entire day if the chair and you are a bad fit. And I just realized I have to open this box from the top. Unlike some chairs, which you have to like assemble certain things, right? You've got to put the casters on, or you've got to put the armrest or something. These come fully assembled, and I feel very uncomfortable up here, but that's fine. These come fully assembled. You break the seal, open the tape, or break the tape, open the box, whatever you want to call it, and then the chair is fully assembled. And we'll demonstrate that here in just a. So the first thing you're greeted with on top is an envelope that's gonna have basically a QR code that will take you back to their website, but we don't need that for now. We also have this box. It's just a filler box. It is empty. It is designed just to take up the empty space for the chair. Hey Nick, we got a new packing box. Are you ready for the big reveal? Thanks for watching, guys. That is the Steelcase gesture. It's like when those like special ops drops in games are like, and there's like a tank. All right, so as you can see, this thing is obviously very well protected in shipping. So that box that I took out, it fills this void right there. One of the things that I said I really didn't like about my N-Body chair is the fact that it didn't have a headrest. Well, Jay, neither does that one. Yes, it does. Boom. It's 75 pounds. Okay. It smells like a new car. Nick, come here. Tell me it doesn't smell like a new car.
Yeah, that's a new car.
I don't know if it's the same kind of plastics or fabrics they use in automotive, but most definitely has that new car smell. All right, enough of the unboxing. You can see it's fully assembled. We got some plastic stuff down here protecting our casters. There are some features to talk about here. I'm gonna start off with what was actually for me one of the selling points, yet the scariest part of this chair, because I wasn't concerned how robust they were gonna be. That's the 360 arms. We all sit in very different positions, obviously, when we're gaming, and I'm no exception. Phil kind of has a narrow gaming stance. His elbows kind of come in, his hands and his keyboard are close together, his mouse and his keyboard, and he kind of plays it compact. I'm just like, I full on like man spread when I play, right? Just everywhere. And the problem is most armrests on a regular chair will give you like this little in-out, and they're fixed. They're in a fixed position. These they call the 360 chair. So you can see how much movement you have. I mentioned this on my live stream once. I've been playing a lot of horror games. When I get scared and the game starts to get scary, I turn these in and I go like that, and it's like a seat belt. It literally goes, it's on my rib cage, and I'm sitting there playing like that because I feel like I'm being hugged and I'm secure. I swear to God, I'm not making that up. So then when everything gets fine, I'm just like, okay, I push them back out and then I'm happy. You've got a little button right here that you can use to adjust the height of this. So you might be the kind of person that's like, I just want the armrest sort of low and out of the way, so your elbows can hang free. I've got heavy arms, I'm a big guy. My shoulder starts to hurt if my arms are just dangling on the weight of, my arm can start to put some tension here on the joint. So I'll constantly, this new car smell is distracting, I'm sorry. I'll constantly like sit here and adjust my arms. So you have swivel, forward and back, up and down, in and out. So that was selling point number 1. That's the reason why I bought it. For me, lumbar support is important, but it's not that important. My height, usually the lumbar misses because of how tall I am. My lumbar is usually above where the lumbar support is on chairs. However, the gesture chair, as you can see, has this adjustable lumbar support. So you can't really see it because it's in between the fabric on the back and this kind of a flexible vent here. It's got a beam that goes across here that gives you a little bit more support so it can push into the small of your back. If you're tall like me, you can bring it way up. I mean, look, I brought it up to almost the middle of the chair here. It's definitely in the top of the first third. If you don't want it at all, you can push it all the way down and out of the way. So arm adjustability, check. Lumbar support, check. I'm a tall guy. Seat depth is important. Phil is 5'2", right? Yeah, Phil's 5'2". I am 6'4". I am more than a foot taller than Phil. Our needs on seat depth are very different. A seat that might even feel too long for him might barely cover my buttocks because I got a giant buttocks, okay? But a seat that's designed for me to sit in will often give pressure points under Phil's thighs, causing his legs to go numb because this starts to push on his thighs. So what we have here is a knob that allows us to customize. Look how far out that goes. This allows us to customize the depth of our seat. Spoiler alert, that's my position. Something else that I think is really neat is the fact that this knob right here, this is your recliner tension knob. No longer are the days of having to lean forward and look like you're scratching yourself on stream or whatever, or playing with yourself. If you're trying to work the knob that's on the front, which is just nothing but a spring and a screw that's designed to either put pre-tension or no tension on the spring to have its recline function get stiffer. The thing is, if you look at the way that the brackets and stuff are under here, it's not the seat base that's just moving, it's also the back actually moving like this. So this knob right here gives a massive amount of pre-tension. Like right now, look at this, I can do this by hand. Look, I'm just barely pulling on that. So you can see as the chair comes back, the reclining position of the butt angle changes too. So it's not like those stupid gaming chairs where you have a separate knob to do this and another knob to do this, and you're like trying to find the right stupid position, right? The gaming chairs are garbage, but you can see the angle changes. Now watch the lumbar support bracket right here for the upper back. This is where you're supported up here. So as the chair comes back, watch the entire mechanism move. Do you see the position change on that entire mechanism? So the pressure that you'll be putting here, instead of making you feel like you're gonna fall back or tip out if you're laying really far back, is redirected down low. Because it's all about getting the center of gravity down low in terms of being stable in a chair. So as you lean back, you can see that whole mechanism move down there. Now, if I go ahead and max out the pre-tension, I'm 265 pounds. There's not many chairs where the pre-tension can keep me from going back. If I max this out, I have to actually use a lot of muscle just to lean the chair back. Look at that. The base of the chair is coming up. I'm pulling at the top, which is the highest leverage point. Jeez, okay. I think that might be a good enough demonstration. Let's go ahead and say you want to lock out your position of where you're leaning and how far back you can go. You can be sitting upright and have the support, but have the spring tension set properly so that you can kind of float. You can actually set the tension perfectly so you can sort of float in any position where your body weight is just enough to hold it there, where you're not falling back, but it's not pushing you forward. That's what I love about this very precise dial here. But you got this locking knob that allows you to have fixed positions. So now it's locked. That's all the motion you get. But if you look carefully, this is just the actual lumbar frame or support here that's bending. So you have a little bit of lean back. If we go to the next position, you can go back farther to all those positions that allow you to go all the way back. So I love that. And then this little knob right here, this is how you actually, the piston's in full height right now, but this knob right here is how you release the piston pressure to bring it up and down. Let's talk about the headrest. The headrest is pretty neat. Headrests are one of those, and if I seem very passionate about this, I've spent a lot of time in this chair. I know every aspect of this chair. The headrest is one of those things where, first of all, this chair comes available with and without the headrest. The headrest can be added to a gesture that doesn't have one if you decide you want one later. The problem with most headrests is whether it's too far forward or it's too far back. This allows you to actually adjust a ton of different positions. I mean, I don't know who'd be using it like that, but you could. If you want to sit farther forward, this can actually just support the back of your neck if you wanted that. Or look at the height adjuster. Look at that, right? So now if you're super tall like me, look how high that goes. That is a serious amount of height adjustment. If you don't want the headrest, sometimes let's just say you want to sit properly and you don't want the headrest at all, it's now technically out of the way. Like you would actually have to lean pretty far back to get your head to touch this. But you see how it's curved? They've thought about this because if you want the headrest to be out of the way for whatever reason, this curve will allow your head to kind of clear that. You can flip it back and adjust it to wherever you want. One of my issues I had with the one of the other brand's chairs, not the Herman Miller, was the fact that my headrest, I'd be sitting there and then just on its own, if I'd lean forward, the headrest would go and just fall down. So if I took my head off of it, it would like find the perfect position to just sort of fall down. But you can see you've got all sorts of adjustability on the headrest. So that was major selling point number 3 for me personally. Weight, let's talk about weight. Weight's another thing that is usually an indicator of build quality. This chair with all these features is rated to 400 pounds. I don't know what that is in stones and kilos and all that stuff, but it's a lot. It's a corn-fed boy if you're 400 pounds. I used to be 500. I know what it takes to get there. My biggest fear about that, if you look at how far extended the armrests are from the pivot point, my biggest fear about this chair is I'm the kind of guy that puts my hands on the armrest, does like a tricep push to kind of readjust myself and sit back down. I was like, will this angle hold that or will it break? I can basically tell you, and we'll demonstrate it in a moment when I get back on the ground. I can do dips on these and not have a problem. They don't flex, they don't creak, they don't buckle, they don't make any noise. It is just, I don't know exactly how they did it, but it is one of the most robust chairs that I think I've ever sat in. Now, one of the things I mentioned is that I'm constantly readjusting myself. I'll push up off of this, which I was concerned about, and after months, this is not loosened up in the least of me doing dips and pushing up off of it. It's the fact that I do not sit conventional. I will sit with my leg under my thigh. I will sit cross-legged, crisscross applesauce in this chair. Yeah, a guy my size fits crisscross applesauce, mostly because I can push those way out to the side, right? And then I can raise the height of them like they are, and then buckle myself in on the scary games. I'm not kidding, I do that. I go, ooh, it's scary, and I play like that. Not kidding, it's like getting a warm hug from your chair. The fact that this chair supports the awkward sitting positions. So on first glance, this probably looks like plastic because it matches the texture of all the other plastic. This is actually the plastic under here. And the reason why I can sit crisscross applesauce and not hurt myself is the fact that this is actually a different density foam than the main butt part. It's denser to give you support, but it's also rigid enough to maintain the shape. And the soft foam goes all the way down the front, but then you have the hard foam underneath it down here. So instead of having a frame right here, which is the problem with some of the chairs that I've sat on, is the frame goes all the way to the edges and I end up sitting on part of the frame, because like I said, I do have a bit of a wide butt, then I end up getting pressure points and a lot of pain. But this matches the texture of the plastic, foam. So that's how you're able to get such comfort in sitting in non-traditional positions and still have support without the pain. And one of the main reasons why, after spending $1,500 on my Herman Miller, I spent another about $1,300 on this chair. Yes, it's pricey, guys, but still, anyone that sits at a computer desk all day long who's felt the difference between a gaming or office chair with something designed like this will tell you it is 1000% worth the money if you can afford it, is the fact that this has what's called their 3D live back technology. The Herman Miller really wanted to force me to sit in one position. Now sure, it had the spine which would like curve with me and stuff, but the butt position forced me to always sit very proper, very flat, very feet on the ground, which is good for prosthetics, good for posture. What I started to say is the fact that yes, although the Herman Miller has the spine that conforms and stuff, the butt always forced you to sit in a very specific position. The extender part to make the chair longer actually extended out from the front of the chair. It was like a little piece that would push out, and that started creaking and making all kinds of noise on me. It wasn't the whole butt moving forward, it was just they made it a little longer by having a piece that would sort of expand out. I hated that function. In this chair, I will sit crisscross applesauce. A guy my size, yes, crisscross applesauce, no problems whatsoever. Right leg under the left leg, you know, the big guy sit where you sit on your leg kind of a thing. I don't know why we do that, but we do. It has their 3D live back technology. This, between this bracket and the lumbar support moving up and down, it flexes. Look at this. Do you see this part right here? This will flex and conform to whatever position you're sitting. So when you sit with like your leg underneath another leg, your back will naturally turn at a weird angle. This will conform to that shape. So you're still getting lumbar support. So you don't start getting low back pain because now you have this huge gap happening between your lumbar and your upper back, causing your spine to compress slightly. You actually get that support right here with this. So when I do my 3 or 4 hour live streams, I know I keep coming back to the Herman Miller, but this video really is about why I ditched Herman Miller and went with steel case, because of the fact that at the end of my live streams with my Herman Miller, my legs were numb. And that was not good because I wasn't sitting in the posture that it was wanting me to, therefore it was creating pressure points in areas that were causing pain. This doesn't do that. Now, one of the cool things about this too is the fact that you can order this in different materials, different colors, different configurations on the frame. Like if you wanted, and of course these are all upcharges, but you know, Steelcase is the office lifestyle company. If you've never looked at Steelcase, and I'll be honest, I hadn't really known about them until I bought the chair and then started looking into their furniture. They've got storage solutions, desk solutions, sit-stand solutions, cabinets. It's literally like custom designed based on your taste. This is the way you can order it like this. But let's say you want gray fabric. You want the fabric to be a wraparound, which is actually what we've got here. This part right here is a wraparound and not a plastic piece. This is black and it's fabric. If you wanted, say, a gunmetal gray frame, and you want like brown leather, like textured leather, real soft, supple leather like you'd find in a car, you can order it that way. It takes a little bit longer to build it, but you can customize it. It's got a ton of different colors, fabrics, materials, types of leather, color of fabric, armrest. You can change the armrest color. You can truly customize it to fit your needs in your office space. And again, I know that this is not the kind of chair that's for like the everyday consumer because it's very niche, it's very expensive, it's very custom. The people that would be shopping in this, I think, would appreciate that level of customization. I'm perfectly fine with the black. It hides stains a lot easier. I'm perfectly fine with the fabric. It breathes well. I don't sweat in it. If you sit in a leather chair, it can get very sweaty if you're not really the kind of cool. I run a little bit warm. So the breathability of the fabric's nice. It's just, you're gonna wanna Febreze it and stuff, and you don't wanna fart in it because it's a really expensive chair. It's kind of like a new car. You don't wanna fart in that seat. You tell all your friends, hold your farts, don't fart in my seat. And then the first time you fart, you're like, okay, it's all game on. Anyway, we've talked enough about it. Let's get all 3 of them unboxed. Let's get them into our editing den, and let's go ahead and let Phil and Nick have not sat in this chair yet. I've spent months in this chair. I can't wait to see their reaction and how each of them set it up based on their very different body types. All right, so this is gonna be Nick's first time sitting in it. How much do you weigh, like 250?
Yeah.
Okay, do the push-up off the handrest thing like I said. Does those feel like they're gonna break?
It's gonna shoot out from underneath me.
Like, that can hold your weight, right? Do push-ups, oh God. Ah, it's like the new core workout.
Yeah.
Introducing the new Steelcase core.
All right. So this. Okay, this is dope.
You look comfortable. You look super comfortable.
Yeah, okay, this is dope. Let's see how I could do it on the desk. Oh, okay. Yo, okay. But I like how I could actually sit up to the desk now, because on the other one, it was like, I couldn't go.
The armrest didn't go down low enough, right?
Yeah, these ones are, I can move them out of the way.
We won't name the brand, but he was using a quote unquote gaming chair which sits like 5 feet in the air. Okay, how's the lumbar support, the hip support, the butt support, like upper back, all that stuff?
I lock it out. Oh, I don't remember to lock it. I like how much more module it is.
Look how freely it rolls too, those casters.
But I'm really impressed with the lumbar on this one for sure. And just, it's way more adjustable.
Yeah.
And you and I are on the larger side of humans.
Yeah.
And that's already like a plus that we're comfortable in it.
Okay, so the armrests are like the highlight.
Yeah, like I said, in that position right there, put your hands flat on the armrest and push your whole weight up. They do not flex.
Oh.
Like I was super concerned with the way they come forward that they were gonna like break over time. Look at that, you're doing dips on them. Like I said, they can support the weight.
I like how you can move them out of the way if you don't want them.
Yeah, now put them, now when I do my scary games, you see what I mean about you feel more secure while doing scary games?
Even shoulder, like, he was like, I'm so comfortable.
All right, Phil's turn. Now Phil is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum in terms of size, so.
So for people that don't know my height, yeah.
So what do you look for in a chair though?
It needs to, oh dude, the seat pan is short enough. So
Yeah.
I was telling Jay that, hold on, let me lower this so I'm not, yay! And it goes low enough to get 90.
Yeah. So you have a footrest under your desk because you usually need that for leg support.
Yeah. So my autonomous ergo chair at home that's one of the only problems that I have with it is that touches the inside of my knees, and so if I'm sitting there for a long time, that pressure point gets really bad. So now this one, I can actually move the seat pan. I thought I was gonna have to have the seat pan all the way back for me.
But you don't.
The first impressions is the back is already very ergonomically shaped. Like I don't feel like I had to adjust anything on it. I'm still surprised that like how little I had to adjust this out of the box besides the height.
How do you feel about the 360 arms?
That's a lot of adjustment because this is, my shoulders shrugging.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can put it down just like Nick was talking about is so awesome because it's not an issue at all. That's a lot of, dude, I could even literally put it at desk height. And then back.
Get up close to your desk?
Yeah.
Or your keyboard?
Yeah, with the armrest up, so that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I'm editing like this, like literally like you were talking about, I'm not having to support my arm with the shoulder. And then if I do want them out of the way, that's freaking awesome, dude. This is a really nice feeling chair.
What about the headrest?
Hey, all the way down works.
Yeah.
It's a little too tall still, even all the way down. Whoa, the back, like...
Yeah, yes. So it's kind of like how an active headrest works in a car. If you push back on the headrest, it pushes against your upper back to give you support. There's like a cantilever in there.
And I do feel like you were talking about, like when you do this, you can twist your spine, and I do feel support still here.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, with your leg under leg like that, uncomfortable, even when you're sitting kind of twisted, you feel support.
Dude, this proper, like, seating setup... Yeah, I could sit here for 16 hours.
Let's try it. All right, so obviously Phil and Nick are in the honeymoon period with their chair. We're gonna have to see over time if they're still in love with it, but I gotta tell you, this is the first time, and Phil and I talked about this in between these shoots, this is the first time he and I found a chair that we both actually like at the get-go. Every chair we've ever tried in the past, we'd be sent chairs for review, and I'd sit there and be like, oh, I don't like it, it's too small. And Phil would be like, yeah, this is good, I like this chair. And I would sit in the chair, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this chair. He's like, yeah, but it's too big for me. None of the chairs ever fit somebody as on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of height and body shape that Phil and I are, that actually met both of our needs and offered enough adjustability to where neither one of us had to go to necessarily the extreme of any of those adjustabilities, with the exception of the pan depth for me. I needed the pan all the way out. To where we both still fat in the chair. I fat in the chair. No, we fit in the chair with adjustability room left over. So yeah, I know this seems like one big long infomercial. Please, I say again, don't forget, I bought my Steelcase gesture chair, full retail, just like my Herman Miller, got rid of that one. And I've been sitting on this in my live streams. You guys have seen it, you've asked about it. I've talked about it a bunch in my stream, which is why when Steelcase was like, hey, we're interested in sponsoring a video, I was like, yes, absolutely. From a consumer perspective, from an influencer perspective, everything about this chair, I'm in love with. If you want to get one of these chairs and fall in love with it too, you guys will find an affiliate link down in the description below, along with my discount code, which will get you 10% off any high performance chair from Steelcase between now and January 9th, 2022. 10% off, that's a huge discount. If you were already looking for a chair, or you're willing to take the risk and you've never experienced a chair like this and you've been thinking about it, and I'm telling you right now, your body will thank you. All right, guys. Speaking of thank you, thanks for watching today's video. As always, we appreciate your guys' views. Find all the affiliate stuff down below, more information about the brand. You guys can start doing some more research on it yourself. And if you decide you want to buy, discount code 2 cents at checkout will save you 10% on any purchase at Steelcase. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.